Hi, my name is Ada and welcome to my first video here on YouTube. What I want to do today is a little bit of knit and chat because it is my first episode. So my name is Ada, I live in Norway but I'm originally from Poland and I've been knitting for about 10 years now. I would consider myself an intermediate level knitter. However, there's still many techniques that I want to try and I have not tried yet, or I have not had the opportunity or even an idea that this is something that can be done. So I'm like maybe halfway on my learning curve, let's say. However, here on YouTube, this is my first episode, so I'm definitely on the beginning stages here. So if there's anything that like technically is not as maybe you can expect from other creators, just bear with me because I am really just starting to learn over here. So, like I said, I want to knit and chat today and get a little acquainted with what we're doing here. So, what I want to show you is something that I have been right now working on pretty much monogamously since I casted it on like 2 weeks ago. This rarely happens because I usually have a couple whips that are, one is in the bag when I leave the house, one is sitting by the TV so that I can grab things of appropriate difficulty level that I can still complete the tasks around, or if it's just like a sit in front of TV that I can just focus on something a bit more potentially more complicated. So but right now what I've been doing is I've been knitting on this skirt. So I'm just gonna slowly lift it up because I really don't want to mess up my frame. So okay, it does not seem like anything particularly interesting right now. It is maybe 3/4 done by now. It's has a 1x1 rib and stockinette body of the skirt. But on the sides, I have implemented this faux, if you can see that, faux cabling, which I think adds a little bit of detail and a line on the side of the skirt. So I'll be really interested to see how that works up. This I have made this skirt in already discontinued, I think, Sandnesgarn yarn. It was called Mor Åse, and I think it's 80% wool and 20% nylon. So it's definitely on a kind of more sturdy side, and that's kind of the point of this skirt. My sister has asked me to knit her a skirt, and I have picked that yarn. She picked that color out of my stash, but I have picked that yarn because it's a thick and sturdy kind of outerwear style yarn, and I think that will pair really nicely with like kind of being outdoors a lot. And the point of the skirt is just to keep warm, keep her warm, and I hope that will be accomplished. I have used that yarn before in a sweater I've made that I will show on another day because that one is quite special, I think, and it's a little rough to work with, I have to say, but once it was blocked, it was actually quite nice and soft. So like when I started knitting on the ribbing, it was really harsh on my fingers, but now I have to say, I really don't mind it, and I don't mind the fabric. It is not as rough as it is when you just start knitting with it, or maybe just felt like it was a big change from what I've been knitting on before, which was a it was a merino and mohair combination. So that was quite a shock to my fingers. So I have quite some length, but it has to cover um, my sister from her waist to almost the knee, so we still have some way to go. And I'm really excited. This is the first time I have designed a skirt. This is completely my idea, and I'm really happy how it's turning out so far. So that was uh, I since I cast it on, I got very excited. Okay, so that's why I've been knitting a lot on it. A little bit interesting thing about that yarn, just that I want to say, is that I have purchased it so long ago. It has been in my stash 8 years. It has been in my stash almost 8 years, 8 years without 2 months. So it's been maybe actually it's the why it's so special is because it's the beginning of my stash. Before when I started knitting 10 years ago, I had some random hand-me-downs or some small balls of yarn. I've been really knitting quite small things that did not use much yarn because I was learning, and I have not been doing garments at all. And that yarn I have actually purchased in Denmark when I was driving through Denmark to move to Norway. And so I feel that is quite special, and it was on such a discount on like some supermarket that it was maybe 75 Danish kroner for 500 grams of it, which is a great price for any Sandnes yarn, even this kind of ragged garn. So the fact that this skirt, of course, like Danish krona to Norwegian krona, I don't really know the exchange rate, but basically this completed skirt in materials, this particular version will cost something like 30 krona, 30 Danish krona, which is well, that is quite interesting. So I'm quite happy to get it out of my stash because it's been looking at me for so long time, and I've been trying to think why I have not been grabbing this, and I feel it was because I had 500 grams. I felt like it was good sweaters quantity, and I wanted to use it for a sweater. However, every time I was actually considering making a sweater, I either had to purchase or I wanted to purchase yarn that was recommended, or it did not fit the style, I didn't, or the color did not fit, or the purpose of it didn't fit. Like I said, it was it's kind of like a rough, more outer layer yarn, and I just did not. And on top of it, I kind of had this idea of like I cannot take one ball um, out of that sweater's quantity, because what if then I want to make a sweater and then I will be missing whatever the extra that from that last ball. So I felt like I could not touch it, and I had two sweaters quantity kind of bags. I have one in this heather color and one that was white or natural white. And that natural white I have finally used this summer for a sweater, and that really, and I have not used all of it, there's a couple ones left, of course, but that gave me the kind of kick to start using this yarn, because just because I have a sweater's quantity of it does not mean it has to be a sweater that I make. And maybe it'll be two skirts, maybe it'll be a skirt and a vest, maybe I'll use that for something completely else, maybe whatever, a hat to go with that skirt. But yarn in my stash is to be used, and that was, I had to fight really hard my yarn hoarding I don't know what myth or my preconception that I kind of need to have and use every little last bit of the yarn, and wait for a special project to use this yarn that I bought on an impulse on the trip 8 years ago. So that is quite I don't know, a change in mindset. Let's call it a change in yarn mindset. It actually is one of my I wouldn't call it a resolution. I don't really do resolutions, but for New Year's usually I set a motto for the year, and last year it was balance, just because that's what I needed in my life, and this year it's just do it, do the thing, knit with the yarn you want to knit with. Just, I'm not sure what you're waiting for, just do it. And so this is my year of just doing the things that I've been stopping myself from doing for whatever silly reasons, right? So yeah, I'm just really in an interesting point in my knitting journey, knit stash journey, because I've just dug into these bags that have been waiting for me for a very long time. You know, like, it's been so long that this yarn has been discontinued, and maybe I'll do a stash tour at some point. But I have acquired some quite some yarn, not as much maybe as some, but it is sizable. And recently I have been looking at a website of a small shop that sells yarn, and I really want to buy some more just because it's on sale. It's on sale and it's a good price, and they have interesting colors, and I have purchased from them before, and I enjoyed their yarn, and I want to support small businesses, and it was just something that I enjoyed, so I wanted to get some more. And really, I was putting stuff in the cart online, and I had a thousand and a half thousand kroner worth of yarn in my cart, and which is absolutely no problem to be buying stuff. But then I look into my stash and then find some yarn that I've had for so long, and why not knit with that? And I kind of fight with myself every week on this, and some weeks are harder than others, but this year maybe I try to work from what I have, even though it is exciting to buy some new stuff. But that is just, there's many ways to have a stash, many ways to knit. Some people knit only from things that they buy on sale. Some people buy only when they have a specific pattern that they want to knit with, so they buy yarn specifically for it. So there's many ways to do it, and I kind of go between, because sometimes when inspiration strikes and you really want to knit that specific thing, or your favorite designer has released something and you want to knit that thing and you want to achieve the same results, you want to maybe buy exactly the same yarn, you can't always rely on your stash. However, when you wait, excuse me, once you know more what you like to knit with, having a stash can be quite nice, because then you can just go and grab and know exactly what you want to do with it, and what you can expect from that particular yarn. So yeah, I don't know. I go between. I really do go between these states of I want to knit with that specific thing, and well, why not try to use what you already have. But those are, again, very situation and person specific, and I will not be telling anybody how they should be doing things, but maybe one day we can organize my stash together, and we see if there's anything that I will maybe start knitting with or give away. I have recently found some things, some yarn in my stash that was just perfect, that I knew it would be perfect for a friend of mine, and I gave it to her as a gift, and it felt great. Not that, oh, I kind of like was decluttering, but it was just an interesting yarn that was one skein, but it was, I think it was 150-gram skein of a really lovely wool, which was had a gradient, I think, and I thought it would be perfect for her for many reasons, and I hope she'll enjoy. But yeah, like it's what I want to do maybe this year is to have a look in my stash and see what I want to work with first. Maybe not find pattern first and then yarn, but maybe look at the yarn and see what I want this yarn to become. But that is for a whole another day. Today we're just having a little knitting going on. I do enjoy my stockinette in the round with like just a tiny little bit of detail, because it keeps me interested enough that I just want to get to the next cable, faux cable, but at the same time I can just not look at my knitting until I hit that marker. So I think this is a really enjoyable knit, and I think I will try to write a pattern for it, because I think it was working out really nicely. I have also a couple other smaller knits, but I don't not know where they are right now. I had them stashed in some bags so that I can work on them on the go. But again, I've been, even when I could grab something else, I have been grabbing that, because it's so easy to take everywhere so far. Yeah, I have a couple whips that are kind of stagnating recently, because of some monogamous knitting, but also because of some other situations, and kind of losing interest in some. I usually have like 3 to 4 whips for different situations, but right now I would say that it's more, but and this has almost never happened, but I have a couple almost not forgotten knits, but I don't even know how to say this, not abandoned, but like misplaced somewhere in my brain. I don't even think about them, and I want to get back into these particular projects, but I just feel like it's not the time. I will get to them, but they are not. Some of them were kind of spontaneously cast on, and when that crazy chaotic cast on energy happens, you just kind of go with it, and then it might not continue. The motivation might not continue. So I have a couple of those victims of the chaotic cast on energy, and I'll get to them eventually. Maybe one day I'll show you everything that I have kind of lurking in my project bags. But again, that is for another thing. But yeah, today I really hope that you got an idea of what I like to do, what I like to knit, and I do hope that we can I can continue this, that I can continue making these kind of videos. And if there's anything that you want to say or comment, I am quite open. Like I said, this is my first video, so please be kind. And I will do my best to kind of maybe increase the quality of the video, of the audio. But like I said, I'm just beginning, so please be kind. If you have any helpful tips, I am really here for it. And if you are also a knitter, maybe tell me how you deal with your stash. Like, how do you like to organize it, or how do you buy to knit, or do you knit to buy, if you know what I mean? Because I'm really curious how everybody's doing this. And for now, from me, that will be a farewell, and I will hopefully see you soon for our next video.